ChatGPT has been known to completely transform content writing. In this video, we will be talking about using ChatGPT in such a way that you will have a choice of selecting text from a table, which you can use to keep tabs on the changes you've made, so stay tuned. Now we are going to demonstrate how to use the sequence prompt, a script that creates a table of 5, or any number you'd like, suggested improvements, and tracks the changes that are made to increase your productivity. With the help of this prompt, we can provide persuasive and practical text, improving ideas in a flash. So that you can understand how it operates, let's take a deeper look. I have a text that I would like to make changes to. Generate a table of 5 different suggestions of improvements that could be related to the text with numbers in the left column of the table for me to pick from. After the table, ask the question, what improvements would you like to make to the text? Pick one from the table above. Below the table, acknowledge with I understand if you understand the task. As you can see, there are instructions and a text within curly brackets here. The instructions are there so that we can type them into the prompt and then execute them. The user can select from a table that the prompt generates with 5 different suggestions for text changes organized by numbers in the left column. Let's now create a text for which we can ask ChatGPT to make changes for the prompt. Text equals person. I am prone to anxiety. Give me recommendations for working through this issue. Recommend changes to the text. Also add log to changes column. Execute the instructions in table format. Once you have entered the text you wish to modify, the script will provide a table of 5 relevant suggested modifications to the text from which you can choose. As a result, ChatGPT has suggested 5 recommendations in accordance with our directions. Not just these suggestions. ChatGPT also gives you the log of changes with these suggestions. Let's see what suggestions ChatGPT has given us. Number 1 suggestion is specify the context in which the anxiety occurs, e.g. work, social situations. We will have 4 more suggestions, like suggest seeking professional help from a therapist or counselor. Encourage the use of relaxation techniques such as deep breathing or meditation. Recommend engaging in regular exercise or physical activity. Suggest the use of cognitive behavioral therapy techniques to manage anxious thoughts. Not just these suggestions. ChatGPT also gives you the log of changes with these suggestions. The script will generate the query, what improvements would you like to make to the text after the table? Choose one from the list above. And choose all the recommendations, but let's try to work with 2 of those that ChatGPT provided. Let's give suggestions implements to ChatGPT. Implement suggestion 1. Now when you do that, the best thing is ChatGPT gives you suggestions to change your text, and it also keeps your text change in the log of change column. This will serve as a record of the text modifications. The script will run the commands in table format after adding to the log of changes column. Let's see how this happens. Here is what ChatGPT says. Great! To implement suggestion 1, I would suggest changing the text to person. I am prone to anxiety in social situations. Can you give me recommendations for working through this issue? Here is the log of changes. 1. Suggestion for improvement. Specify the context in which the anxiety occurs, e.g. work, social situations. 1. Log of changes. Added context to the text. Change the text to person. I am prone to anxiety in social situations. Can you give me recommendations to work through this issue? Let's do one more suggested implementation. Implement suggestion 2. Now let's see what change ChatGPT suggests, and don't worry, it will also keep the change in the log of change column, so you don't have to worry about what changes you made. Isn't that great? Sure, to implement suggestion 2, I would suggest changing the text to person. I am prone to anxiety in social situations. I would recommend seeking professional help from a therapist or counselor. Can you also give me recommendations for working through this issue? Here is the log of changes. 2. Suggestion for implementation. Suggest seeking professional help from a therapist or counselor. Log of changes. Added recommendation for seeking professional help. Change the text to person. I am prone to anxiety in social situations. I would recommend seeking professional help from a therapist or counselor. Can you also give me recommendations for working through this issue? You can also ask for the full table with the log of changes ChatGPT has made with text. Let's try another illustration to check the master productivity of another prompt. First, again, give the instructions, and then draft the text that we can use to request changes from ChatGPT. Text. The Dark Knight as a movie describes the concept of a hero, and how a hero can be a very unpopular figure too, contrary to what everyone seems to think. The movie also makes a distinction between traditional antagonists and the character of Joker. Also add a log of the change column. Execute the instructions in the table format. As a result, ChatGPT has offered 5 suggestions that follow our instructions. See what suggestions there are. ChatGPT provided us with the suggestion for improvement. Add examples for the movie to support the points made. Expand on how the movie portrays the concept of heroism. Discuss the movie's impact on popular culture. Include analysis of the movie's cinematography and soundtrack. Connect the movie themes to real-world issues above. Along with these suggestions, ChatGPT also provides you with a change log. Now let's ask ChatGPT to implement one of the suggestions. Implement Improvement 2. The finest part of that is that ChatGPT offers you options for how to change your text and records those changes in the log of change column. Here is what it says. The Dark Knight is a movie that explores the concept of heroism in a unique way, depicting a hero who is often an unpopular figure. The film challenges the traditional notion of a hero being universally loved and adored, and instead presents Batman as a complex character who is often criticized and misunderstood by the public. You can also tell ChatGPT to include its summary to the log of changes column. Here's what ChatGPT does with log of changes to your implemented suggestion 2. 2. Suggestion for improvement. Expand on how the movie portrays the concept of heroism. 2. Log of change. Provided more detail on how the movie depicts heroism. Revise the text to describe how the movie challenges the traditional notion of heroism and presents Batman as a complex character who is often misunderstood and criticized by the public. As you see, it added the change of your implemented improvement for second suggestion in log of changes column. Let's try to implement improvement for one more suggestion. Implement 5 and add it to the log of change column. Here is the improved text implementing suggestion 5 from the table. The Dark Knight is a movie that delves into deeper themes beyond just heroism and villainy, inviting the audience to reflect on the complexities of modern society and politics. The film also touches on issues of surveillance, terrorism, and justice, making it a thought-provoking piece of cinema that remains relevant to this day. Also, it gives you the updated log of changes column with a summary of changes made. For example, we just made changes to 5 suggestions. Look! 5. Suggestion for improvement. Connect the movie's themes to real-world issues. 5. Log of change. Added a discussion of how the movie's themes relate to modern society and politics. Revise the text to describe how the movie explores themes of chaos versus order, surveillance, terrorism, and justice. I hope you found this video informative. Thank you for watching the video until the end. Be sure to check this video about Unlock the 10 times smarter bot brain. Discover the power of ChatGPT prompt engineering.